Well, howdy guys, thanks for making your way back on over here again. This is episode number 8, I'm Imperial Jedi, and guys, holy smokes, look at this amazing looking city. Look what we've done, it's only 8 episodes, but I can't even believe it. So, thanks for all the suggestions, thanks for sticking around, it means a lot to me guys, honestly, like, really, just for 8 episodes, I can't even believe how much love and support there's even been, so, you guys are wonderful. It's a shame I can't get these episodes out faster, right? Holy smokes, I should be working overdrive here. Okay, so just speaking of a suggestion, this one over here came in the last comment, or the last episode, sorry. We basically sunk this entire area now, whereas before the waterway kind of started right here, but someone kind of suggested that we make this into kind of like an actual sunken highway, kind of pun intended, right? So this looks pretty cool, right? It's kind of a new waterfall. I put 2 water outflow pipes here, kind of make it a little bit more kind of faster moving current and stuff, but oh, I just love the way this turned out. And I put in this kind of nifty little pedestrian walking path. That was kind of fun. And the way I did this is I first did a straight line, and then I made a little point out on each one, and then I did a little curvy point on each side, and then I deleted the inner part. So it's kind of left with this cool shape here. You know, so if you live in the city, you can kind of come over here, set up your camera, do some like time-lapse photography, capture the highway, this and that. And I just kind of changed this interchange a little bit here. So now we've got an arm going up and over everything, which is kind of fun. I really like the way that happened. And I just changed the profile of this a little bit, so it's a little bit lower going in, and then the other one's kind of a tunnel. And you can see that just kind of goes through that part right there, just so it doesn't get flooded. I love it. So, you know, guys, keep the suggestions coming. Like, even if it's a little bit late in the series, like, don't feel like, you know, you're missing out. I can always implement stuff later on. I do read, like, even if I'm slow to respond to the comments, and I feel so bad for not being able to respond to all of them, like, keep them coming, and, you know, you can always make changes, like, episodes down the road, right? So, okay, so a lot of chit-chat. Let's get on with this episode. What I was thinking of doing for this one, let me just kind of segue a little bit into this. So we have been doing a lot of high-density zoning, which is definitely a great thing. We've been making sure that traffic and everything is ready for that, which is also a great thing. And we have been doing a little bit more zoning, I think, towards offices instead of kind of industry, just to kind of meet that demand. And my goal for that, of course, is to keep things a little bit greener and whatnot. The only thing is, it is a little bit unsustainable. So we now have to put in a university campus, which is kind of the theme for this episode. So I thought we'd have some fun by doing that. So let me just show you for education really quickly here. So the older part of our town, you can see this is our elementary education. These guys very well educated because, you know, they've been in the city longer, so arguably they've had more time to be educated, so that kind of makes sense to me. Up here, newer citizens haven't had enough time yet, that's why they aren't really educated. Same with high school, right? Same thing applies. Now, we don't have a university campus down, but we do have some educated workers here, and it's usually the older ones that kind of moved in first, right? We do get a lot of people from the region that are educated, but they won't kind of be able to keep up with the internal city demands. So when you start seeing, see a couple over here, when you start seeing these icons, not enough educated workers, that's when you want to start thinking about doing a university campus. So we're at that point right about now, so I think we should do it. And there are a few spots that do kind of jump out at us. We could probably fit like a little small one, you know, in and around one of these kind of spots here. Depends on what kind of look you're going for. Same with any of these open spots here. We could definitely get a stellar one in this little curved area here. But what I had in mind was this spot right in there, so that when you're kind of looking at the city from this perspective, it's kind of a nice little look. And then, like I was saying in the last episode, we have these kind of hidden grids in here. So all in this little spot, we should kind of think about converting this into like the higher, or like maybe the highest density point in the city. And probably one more grid over like that too. So when it's all said and done, this will be very high density. And it'll be like a scaled down density encircling that. And then all on the outskirts will be our suburbs. And then wherever we have like farming and specialized zones, that's when we can do some, you know, some just little towns and whatnot over there. But we'll kind of start big and then work our way small, and then that'll kind of be how the city basically grows. But yeah, okay, so let's jump in here. And then something I want to do next episode too, just to kind of have on the back burner, is we haven't really talked on it, not too much, but I do want to start going into some public transportation. So on our university campus, I'm going to have a little spot for some buses and everything to turn around, just so we can kind of start talking about that a little bit. Drop some thoughts and everything. Okay, so for the name of traffic, I'm not going to have cars and everything, or sorry, our buildings zoned right on the 6-lane road. I'm going to keep that just for kind of cars moving around. So what I'm going to do instead is just have like a little avenue approach right here, and then we'll do kind of like an in-town road network here, and then just, you know, pick one more spot as kind of like our way in and out, just so we don't make that one little bottleneck, especially when we start adding, you know, public transit buses and stuff, right? All right, so let's do a little bit of crafting. So I think I would like a series of parking lots. And now these are actually something I've made in the asset editor, which is something that comes with the vanilla game. So you don't have to buy anything extra for it. So if you wanted to, you could try making these yourselves if you didn't like the look of them. But I actually made these to fit or to fill a need in the vanilla series that we have going on right now. So you guys are more than welcome to use them yourselves. I'll include them in the download link and everything for Steam, so you can just download them right through when you're downloading the city afterwards. If not, they'll just kind of be like an open spot in the map, which is also no problem. You can kind of fill them in however you need, but just giving you guys a little heads up on that. Or if you think I'm kind of like, you know, not using the vanilla rules and air quotes or whatever, but no, these are something you can totally make yourself, so don't feel too intimidated. Totally give it a try. And I actually made a little video on it too, so in case you guys need some help or something. Okay, so just the way I made these, I have some walking paths included in them, so people will be able to kind of go in and around. And they are functional parking lots, which is actually the best part about them. So just to make sure that actually people can drive, it doesn't look like we're driving over the grass or anything, I'm going to switch that to this type of road. And I'm just going to encompass this in a road like that. And then what I'm going to do on this side is just put down our campus. There we go. So that's nice and in line. Okay, now I was saying I did want a spot for the public transportation. In a quick nutshell, what I'm going to do over here is have just a few little roads come in, and it's just going to be a spot for buses to pick up and drop off passengers. See if I can get something to cooperate here. I may need to open this up a little bit wider. No, we're okay. Yeah, so the goal, I mean, the bus comes in, I'll have a bus stop over here for people and a bus stop over here for people. And then that way, what we can do is, so the next episode, like I was saying, we're going to pick a spot for our central public transit hub. And that's just like it basically sounds. All the forms of public transit in the city will meet there, link up, so you can transfer this and that, drive in by car, leave by train, or, you know, whatever you want, right? And we can have some direct links from, say, one of the public transit hubs. We can even have a few in our city. We can have like a bus that just goes from there over to here, or we can have one that, you know, comes from, you know, say this area because it's close by, right? And then if we have multiple transit routes coming in and out of the school, just to ensure that, you know, you don't get too backed up or whatever, you have them go on different roads. So that kind of helps with our planning and everything. Okay, so over here, I would like to use a stadium, and there's a few options with the stadiums. So you guys may not know this, but if you do a search in the Steam store for Match Day, you can get this football stadium here, and it's totally free, which is awesome. Otherwise, if you do want some more, these ones here are part of the Stadiums DLC, and this one, I don't remember how much it is, not too expensive, but these are modeled after real-life football clubs. So just some options right there. But we'll use the football one right here. And what's really cool is this is kind of like a source of revenue and stuff for the city now. Let's drop this down, put that right there, right in the corner. So you can see right here, you can set how much the tickets cost. You can set some policies, so when the match is on, you can have like free public transit. You can beef up security, like that kind of stuff. And what's really neat is anyone coming to the game will be wearing a jersey that matches the, you know, your team color, which you can set, which is pretty fun, I think. And you play like other teams, you know, in the region, in air quotes, so it's not really a real team or anything. If you win, your city gets a little boost in happiness. The only catch is traffic becomes crazy. So we're going to want to make sure that we're, again, having like a way in and a way out over here. So only because this is kind of an interesting shape, like how these aren't like flush with each other, I'm going to do something like that. And just so that we don't get overwhelmed with traffic lights. Actually, I'm not even going to bother over there. You know what I will do, though, is maybe put in some more parking lots on this side. I should be able to sneak in Maybe 1 or 2. And I just hate having dead ends, but I guess if they're going to a parking lot, that's totally fine. And my thoughts on dead ends, I probably, said this a couple times or whatever, but just they're inefficient for distributing services through your city. And because you can't really do a true dead end where you get like a cul-de-sac, I just don't like the way they look, just having like a dead road like that, especially with the trucks and everything having to turn around. There we go, a little bit more parking, I like that. And just a bit of commercial zoning over here. And I wonder if we can maybe get like a pedestrian path or something. I still want it to feel like it's a total dead end. Oh yeah, we can. Cool. Oh, bonus points if we can go. Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. Ooh, and it connects with that. Oh, even better. Oh, but by that same logic, we should probably have a road that goes up and connects. Oh, yes. Oh, how wonderful. Okay. So let's connect that with a pathway. This is getting even better by the moment here. Great. And I don't know if people would really necessarily be walking over there. All right, well, we can't even connect, but I will do this. There we go. And that gets a lot more use out of that little spot, I think. Okay. So let's get some more parking lots in place. Because I remember, whenever I go to school, parking is like the hardest, craziest thing, right? And I do want some variety in the parking lots. That's kind of a fun thing, too. So I think that looks really nice right there, just in addition to the school. Over here, I think we can maybe put in an actual park or a plaza. Because I really don't want this area to feel... Darn it, of course. I don't want this area to feel like it's too... Are we getting into the parking lot? We might be. Oh, these are huge, I forgot. Like lost in concrete, kind of like what we had in the other areas too. Same idea. Well, we could put in... Yeah, there we go. Oh, and that works well with the way that road just ends. So let's do this. Oh, that's perfect. And then afterwards, we'll put in some more of those rocks. So we've already lost a few. And then over here, I want to start using a few of these kind of cool buildings that we have. Like, what am I going for here? Like a neighborhood park, for example. Like, we can make like a little kind of student housing district and have that in the center. And I also, like, what building am I looking for here? Yeah, this one here, the Science Center. So this one I love using on the school campuses because it has that kind of look and feel of like, like a research institute or something. So it could be like a specialized building. Hey, cool. Oh, actually, let's do a quick little segue because I just want to drop these down really quickly. So your crematoriums, you want to put them near the cemetery. Actually, you know what? Since we're over here, I do want to change just ever so slightly the layout of this. It didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would. I think this is going to be a better use of our squares over here. Don't be afraid to experiment with the size of your neighborhoods, though. And if you want houses instead of these big kind of mini, like, mini duplex things, if you want like tiny houses like this, 3x2 zoning. And you can always just kind of do that yourself by having like little gaps and whatnot. I was trying to accomplish that by using those roads, but I just didn't get the spacing 100% correct there. Anyway, you want to have these guys close by so that when your cemetery is full and it's time to move the bodies into the crematoriums to kind of make room, which I know is totally morbid, but it's a city business, business first here. We gotta... Anyway, so you want them close by, otherwise you'll kind of run into traffic problems. Same with the dumps and the landfills. Yeah, whatchamacallits, incinerators. That's what I'm looking for. Sometimes words, they elude me. See, I always have one down here too. All right, cool. And then we'll probably have, I think when it's all said and done, maybe a few campuses on school. Because I know like a lot of cities, especially my city, but like a bazillion. So we can make some that are more compact and everything. But the idea, of course, is to make this one maybe like the main one, because we have like our main sports team here or whatever. right, well, let's continue this back road through campus. And it does go a little bit uphill. I'm not opposed to that. Have these two link up. I don't think we can... So I'll do the same thing again. We're going to have like a dead-end road that just kind of turns into some pathways. But we're going to be making this like a student housing kind of area, so I'm not really that worried. Just in the grand scheme of it, I don't like using too many throughout the city. The one-way roads. Or not one-way roads, dead-end roads. No, I mean, it's looking pretty cool. I already have this kind of like feel and like university kind of look and feel to it. I like that. I'm getting those vibes is what I'm trying to say. Right now, I would maybe like a few administrative buildings. Maybe we can put like a 4x4 office building in just here and there. Maybe not necessarily in the front over here. Maybe some more parking. I swear, whenever I'm at school, I'm always like, why is there not more parking? It's like always my main thought. Let me raise this little bit up here, just so it feels like your car is not going to roll down a hill. So you don't have to buy those like blocks of wood to put under your wheels in case you don't trust your parking brake. That's a little bit better. And just for over here, what we could do is just maybe double up on some trees or administrative building. And of course, there would be some shops and everything on campus, like cafes and everything. So we're going to put a few of those in because that makes total sense to me. We got some already up here. I don't like the looks of these little tall single unit ones, so we'll get rid of some of those. And I would like to get just like a park maybe on this side. And if not, then just a plaza or something. Yeah, even that's kind of cool. I'm gonna get rid of that one. It's not quite feeling the same kind of symmetry the other one was giving us. Okay, so over here, let's bring in that park area. Where do we see that? Yes, friendly neighborhood park. Love the look of this. So have that, like that, and then I think we're going to lose this rock, unfortunately, but we'll put that back in afterwards. So that's no longer a dead end. That makes me even happier. Oh, and you know what? It looks like we've got a chance for some pathways and everything through. I want to try something here. Does that work? Okay, we can have that go through. What does that look like? Okay, I'm kind of curious. Let me see what this looks like. That works with the symmetry of the park right there. And then what happens if we draw another road? I think I'm asking for trouble here. How did I have that? Yeah, there. No, that's not it. Is that even possible what I'm trying to do? Let me just turn this off. That's what I'm going for. And then kind of, ooh, yes. Almost as if this is on its own little private wing. Oh, I love it. Perfect. Not quite what I was going for, but still cool nonetheless. And then we can just hide a little bit of that imperfection with some trees. Put in a taller tree right there. Great. And like honestly, don't be afraid to use trees everywhere throughout your city to kind of hide imperfections and help with like, you know, like slopes and edges and stuff. And this is a very random segue, but I wanted to show you guys something really quickly that kind of came in based on a YouTube comment also in the last episode. I had someone was just asking like, what do you do when you end up with kind of this effect where you have a little bit of a slope and you're zoning off a road that's near your slope, and then you end up with like the Tetris kind of look where all your shapes are kind of crazy. So what you can do, there's a few options here. You can try doing some terraforming, which mixed results sometimes works really well, sometimes doesn't. Start with a little small brush here. Just flatten that back. I mean, that's an easy way to do it, right? If you don't like that, you can use the smoothing effect. You can use this guy right here, which kind of smooths everything out generally in proportions or whatever, just scales it all. Or what you can do and I'll just show you guys what I did over here, is just cover everything in trees, and just put, you know, a few rocks and stuff here and there. You can see it just kind of hides all of that. Some of those like sunken rocks look pretty neat. Just kind of gets rid of that jaggedness. So totally up to you, whatever you guys like, but you can kind of see I do that a lot on the coastlines and stuff too. Kind of hide rocks and everything in there, but that's just kind of my style, so whatever you like type thing. Okay, so back over here. Yeah, I really like that. That turned out quite nice. So maybe a cafe or two right here type thing. And why don't we have 1 or 2 tall buildings for like the sake of student housing. And then I would also like some houses. And so if we do some small zoning, it's gonna be really noisy right there. A little shop or something right there for those guys. And then I would like something over here. I think I may even put a high school down. It does have kind of like an education look and feel to it. I mean, obviously it's a high school, right? Obviously, I don't think you'd find this. Not to say you possibly wouldn't find it, but you most likely wouldn't find this with a university campus. And the fact that it's at the end of a highway on an off-ramp, kind of a little bit dangerous. But just for our university students, or hopefully a little bit more, you know, like more spatial awareness. Their brains have grown a bit more type thing. So we'll have that there just as a bit of a filler. I don't think we need to run power lines. I think the buildings, once they fill in, should spread the power properly. And I would like to hopefully get maybe like a basketball court or just something else in here. Maybe even in these little spots. Not quite. Tricky. Oh, of course. Can I just get like one in here? Of course, right? Well, I would like a basketball court. And I think we need to rethink. So we'll do that. No, I still like the idea of that as a building. I think we're just going to limit how much housing we actually have on campus. Keep that rock. It's just so noisy right here. I just don't think we can have people living here. It looks like a game is on, and you can see the amount of traffic that's going to be flooding into here. I think what we could do, just to help, is make that a one-way going in, and then that just kind of stops everyone from having to do all this. They're just trying to get to the parking lots and everything, right? So that should help. And then people can hopefully park and everything on this. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm just going to put a few more buildings here. And let's start doing some... oh, we already got our pathways over there. That's fine. And then these assets, when I created them in the workshop, have got pathways built into them. So your pedestrians will be walking through them. So you can see how I can connect to that, and it's not a problem. So I just want a few of those kind of going through, just to kind of fill in the area. And then we'll put down some trees and everything to kind of fill in the rest. There, and I mean that just looks better too, like concrete with the cars driving over it instead of just open grass. That looks just too chaotic, right? All right. So just put some of these down. I'll turn down the speed. You don't really need to be blasting through this, but I just turn on 3 speed here and there just to kind of help sometimes with the zoning. And just force a habit. I'm used to playing on mods where 3 speed doesn't really have that much of an effect. So I'm always like pleasantly surprised when I see the city just kind of blowing on by. Let's see all the bicyclists. And so right here, I'm just going for more or less kind of a custom park kind of feel. Maybe an extension to that plaza. Using the same trees as inside the asset. Has that same kind of feel. I like that. Look at all these bicycles. So I think what we should have is a bicycle network that goes into the school. gotta be cautious over here though. I got a lot of traffic, so definitely want bike lanes to make sure that our people are safe. And to encourage people to actually use the parking lot. I think that's awesome. It's snapping right into there. Let's get them off these roads here. You got parking lots everywhere, people. Get off the roads. Same with over here. Back ones, that's no problem. That's awesome. I hate to, like, I know there's nowhere to park over here now, but just don't really want all these cars everywhere. I was gonna give these guys a little back road, but nope. You know what we can do is just maybe have this back section be for just regular cars. Actually, we'll just do like that. Sure. That's fine by me. Alright. My goodness, look at how awesome this is. So I just want a few more, I think, parks. A few more rocks and like this and that. And I think we're kind of nearing the end of it. Don't necessarily think that's going to fit anywhere. Love using these things. Okay, so usually rocks go in first, then I'll put the trees in afterwards type thing. I don't think we're going to use any big rocks over here. We'll just fill in a bit more of this. And I think I'm going to maybe make some smaller parking lots in the asset editor as well. Just so we can sneak some skinnier ones in here. And I think the last thing I want to do is bring in a pedestrian pathway that kind of comes up from our network new neighborhood that we made in the hillside. Maybe we can have a little bit more housing over here. Otherwise, this turned out to be an awesome in-town campus. I mean, look at how cool this is. Love the parking lots, love the sports feel to it. Like, love this, like basically this, like, giant towering science center research facility thing right there. I really like that this kind of fun bridge right here. It's neat seeing all the bicycles. I think even though we're going to lose the little mini boulevard in the center, I think I'm going to make this a bike lane as well. Or we would have the opportunity to maybe bring the bike lane in. No, let's just... I'm overcomplicating things. We'll do that just to get some more bikes coming in. Yeah, that's a traffic fix right there, having those guys. And then, yeah, just from, like, up here, for example, we can have, like, a pedestrian pathway just kind of come on down. Be the next contestant on The Price is Right. Now, I'm starting, you can see, a little bit further back, just because of the way the terrain's kind of being finicky, but I think we're okay to get the ground level from there. That's way too steep, so let's make that a bit more of a progressive downhill. Even that's a bit crazy. So what we could do is just hop across the street. We get to be a bit taller still. Yeah, we do. Connect over like that. That's fantastically awesome. You hear our stadium? See the players play? This is an awesome DLC, and this one is free. So take a little look in the store, the Steam store, type in Match Day, add it to your cart. Even though it's free, you got to go through the motions of buying it, but it won't cost you anything. And then when you, if you're online, which you would because you're connected to the store, it'll update and get you some stuff. And you get new stuff, which is really cool. Okay, let's do a little bit more over here. This is supposed to be on ground level, but we're not really looking like we are, so I'm just going to extend this until it kind of becomes concrete again. Oh, that's why we're not on. There we go. That gives the chance for people, you know, walking and living up here just to kind of make their way to the campus. Oh no! We lost! You can see the whole city suffers and feels the defeat, just like in real life. Bitter, bitter defeat. And it would be maybe nice to get another pathway through like this. And that's a little bit of an awkward connection for our Sims. And, you know, don't be afraid to use tunnels, bridges, like whatever you need to do just to get the people from one side to the other. And just think about it in real life. Like, the more easy it is for you to walk somewhere, to take public transit, the more likely you are to leave your car behind. So that should be the name of the game. And holy smokes, look at all the traffic. So you can see the importance of having public transit, especially for things like games and whatnot. And speaking of walkability, look at everybody who's using our little walkways. Look at how awesome that is. There's everyone who left the car behind. So good job, those guys. All right, friends, I will leave you with this. I hope you had fun with this episode. I had a lot of fun. This is great. Look at our new university campus. So happy with that. Next episode, we're going to be tackling public transit, because it is pretty much time for that. You can especially see with all these crazy loyal fans right here. All right, guys, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the campus, and drop me some thoughts on where you maybe want to see the central public transit hub. So I'm thinking that, you know, if we maybe draw a little compass or whatever, like this is north up here, so north, south, go to east and west. So I'm thinking most likely what we'll do is probably, I don't know, maybe something in here? Can you use there? I don't know. Down here, a lot of room. Who knows? We'll kind of see how it goes. And on this side, I don't know. You guys let me know. So we got, yeah, the north, in the east, south, or west. We'll kind of see. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves. I'll upload this to the workshop, and I'm going to include the parking lots and everything too, so you guys can download those. If not, they'll just be open spaces, which you can totally use for zoning or whatever you want. And just in general, don't be afraid to download assets. Like, even though I'm not using them in this series, you can make some yourself. The mods and everything, don't be afraid to use those too. They do slow your computer down a little bit, but it's not too crazy. If you're using hundreds, you have to have a good computer. It's kind of my speech for that. All right, guys, all the best. Hope your cities are doing well. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves.